Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's AUDJPY Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. Now, tonight's webinar is live Forex market review, so we'll get into that. Before we do, if everybody can read through the disclaimer, for everybody on our YouTube live stream, I cannot see the chat, but I've given you the link to join us in the webinar. If you're in the webinar, you can chat to me using the chat box or the Q&A box, but as I was saying, if you're on our YouTube live stream, I cannot see the chat, so I cannot see what you're saying to me. So just join us in the webinar, follow the link and join us in the webinar if you're on the YouTube live stream. All right, just read through the disclaimer, everybody, please, before we move along. Feel free to ask me a question or two. All right, let's move along. So for those that don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor here at AUDJPY Securities. And I'm a full-time trader. Been trading the Forex market now for almost 20 years, mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email's there, duncan.cooper@acy.com. And you can connect with me the week at the website. Go to acy.com, go to the Market News tab, or at our YouTube channel, which is at AUDJPY Securities Australia. And if you want to connect with me personally, my Linktree page is there. You get my links on the handle. And if you want to use the chart layouts that I'm using, then just contact Nathan Bray's emails on the screen. He'll set you up. For those in the webinar, I'll put his details in the chat. All right, there we go. It's in the chat. Now, let's get into the news items for the day, for the remainder of the week. So, coming up today, and this is my time, Queensland, New South Wales time, we have this evening for the US, final GDP QQ and unemployment claims. So the market can be volatile for there for sure. 11:20, Fed Chair Powell speaking. That can be volatile there as well. And then tomorrow evening, 10:30 p.m. for Canada, we have GDP month on month and US core PCE price index month on month. All right, so it could be volatile this evening at 10:30 and then 11:20, however long he's talking for the Fed. So be aware what's coming out. So let's get in the charts now. We did have yesterday quite a reversal. US dollar reversed. This is the monthly chart. It was on Wednesday into the opening on Thursday. It was below that monthly level of support, but this is the monthly chart still. We moved back above. So as we drop to the daily, whilst the market's been below the support area, we're back above it. A big reversal yesterday. So pairs to the US dollar reversed down, and dollar, the euro dollar reversed at 112. Pound dollar actually reversed to the key 79% retracement of the major range. So it's only 1 day reversal, but is it a start of a major reversal, or is it just a bit of a reversal? We'll have to wait and see. Now, S&P 500 to new heights, not having a dip yet. Personally, at the moment, I would look for a dip. I wanted to trade this. I wouldn't trade at the all-time high. I'd see if we could dip back to what was the all-time high. So can we pull back? Maybe have a 1 or 2 day pullback to support at 56.69, so that you can be buying at a cheaper price point, at a cheaper level. Allow price to pull back to a cheaper level, then can you see you set up to get long. Buying at the top doesn't make any sense. Well, not to me anyway. All right, so the euro dollar, let's go to the day chart now. The August high, we weren't able to get there last week with the FOMC statement, but we did get there yesterday, but we did completely reject. So whilst the structure on the day chart here is still up, the question is that a major reversal here to maybe at least come back down to support? All right. At the moment, the market's just going up a little bit from yesterday's sell-off. Notably, any rally at the moment is getting kept at this daily top here. This weekly top over here, whilst I've got it on my charts, it's probably not telling me too much. It's probably getting a little bit covered by price action, so I'm just going to take that off. So key reference points is this high, and that high. Question is that reversal candle, so a dark cloud cover? Closed well down yesterday after going to a fresh high. Are we going to see a movement back down to support? Now, the 4 hour at the moment, you can see the current candle didn't like it up at that daily top. If I want to get short, if I think this area up here is the reversal, I don't think I want to get short here. I'd much prefer to get short up here if we can get a revisit, because there's an imbalance on that candle there. So just dropping it to the 15. That big sell-off yesterday, I draw a fib across that range. And see, we have held at central pivot point and the daily resistance level, the lower level. I'd much prefer to be seeing price rally higher up to the 79% level, or at least back to last week's high and resistance at 1180. So I'd much prefer to see this area rally back to up at the 79% level of that range. There's some imbalances up here that need to be filled in this area on 15. So if I was just going to sit tight and wait for the best area up here would be where I would look. However, today, intraday, we're not able to get above day resistance and the central pivot point. So all that we might see today, and you have to decide, is it the level you want to trade at, or you want to wait for a high level if it can come around, is does this area get retested or close to, and do we fail? Price may only come up here within this range now. To come up, maybe just a 79% level, or at least retest this area to then further decline today. So you have to decide which level you want to trade at. I like the higher level just because it's the higher level. It gives me a higher price to get in at if we are going short. I could also entertain up here, this area, which very close to the 112 level. So whether we can revisit 112 again, I don't know. When the Fed talks later in the day, we might get volatility to come up there. So that would be a high level to watch. But if you see a setup here to once more fail, we have had in this area a trend line break to move down. If you saw another trend line break here to move down, well, maybe we're not getting higher. So you have to decide, do you want to engage or not? All right, so a few areas to watch there. Big question is, after yesterday's sell-off, are we going to continue to the end of the week? Maybe showing a bit of a reversal. Maybe you don't want to entertain the short side at the moment because it's been so strong. But if we have a reversal candle on the weekly chart on these pairs to the US dollar, then maybe next week you have to start putting your sell hat on, especially if we get a reversal week this week. All right. Euro yen, still holding its 4-hour uptrend here within the range of the month. As I said on Tuesday, I'm a little still uncertain about these yen pairs because we have a lower top, higher bottom here. Personally, seeing price action still moving up over the last few days, I'm inclined to think that we could be moving all the way back up here. But I need a setup to get long if I want to get long. And so the question is this a rally? Is it going to fail at 79% area here to move down? Or have we bottomed? I don't know. The jury's out for me still. I'm not in any yen pairs at the moment. With the rallies going up at the moment to very high levels on some of the yen pairs, I would need to see, if we get a significant rejection reversal candle back up close to resistance, then I could look, that might grab my attention to get short on a lower time frame setup. But at the moment, structure in the 4-hour chart, whilst we're very high within the range, this is still holding to a 4-hour uptrend. It's still got higher bottoms and tops. Got a bit messy in here, but it's still going up. Now, there's a 79% level of the range. If the 4-hour structure changed, so if we reverse today and we break down to change structure, I could then entertain a rally to go short. I can't really entertain getting long at the moment because we're very high up within the range. So I'm just waiting for something I like the look of. Okay. Euro pound. Thoughts aren't really changing on the euro pound. This is the area I highlighted. The broken area of weekly support. These lows here, and we've moved down through. Just watching to see if we can come back up to the area for a rally. And then do we rally into that area and hold? Can you see a lower time frame set up in this area to further go short within that trend? All right, might not get up there, but that's what if I was trading this pair, that's what I would be looking for. Can we move up for a rally to get short within the trend? Daily, weekly, monthly trends are down, right? So can it uptick to offer a sell down from resistance? Now, pound dollar, which has been very strong, to the daily, 79% level here. I'm getting that from the monthly chart. So high, low of that major range. We hit the 79% level yesterday, day before. We got above it, but we couldn't hold it yesterday. Way too early to tell if that's just a little bit of a selling pressure at that area, or is it going to be much more of an area where we could get a major reversal from. If you do look left though, all these highs back in 1819, 1, 2, 3, we're moving into that area. This one here is at 33.81, which we're underneath. So we're definitely into a sell area historically. Trends up, monthly, weekly trends are up, weekly trends up. You can see we traded this week into that area as well, this weekly resistance area here. We're holding underneath at the moment just. So all time frames are up. It's just that very nasty outside candle at 79% fib of the major range back at a previous historical selling level. Is it going to offer a major reversal, or maybe just a few days of selling to a lower level where the buyers come in and then we move back up? So we could, you can see today that 33.57 levels holding the rally today at the moment. And we might just, I don't know if we're getting a major reversal here. We may just come down to this area of support. And then once that occurs, once we get a corrective price movement, we go up and through. Coming down to support here does not break the trend. Breaking below this low here, that low there, would start to change the trend. Or if we had a lower top starting to form, that would start to change the trend on the day, but we don't have that at the moment. So it's not to say that you couldn't get short within a rally back up today within that reversal candle. Still very high up here to get long. 4 hours put a little minor topping up here, lower top, lower bottom. We've only managed to come back up to this 4-hour top and that weekly area of resistance here. Personally, if I wanted to get short, see if we can move down, I would look to that range, 15. So much like the euro dollar, it can't really get past the central pivot point too much. It's hitting the first point of resistance, holding at central pivot. And depending on your thoughts right now, Could be a very minor swing here. To continue down towards yesterday's low. So you need to make a decision if you want to short there at central pivot point. There's not much risk shorting here, stop just above there. So if you like that little 50-minute downtrend structure, is it going to hold? To move down, you could actually drop down to 5-minute chart and see if you get a little 5-minute, there's a little structure there, a little 5-minute breaker structure. That structure breaks. Let me use my other point tool. Now, if that little structure here breaks, could you be putting your stop here? Get a very tight stop. As soon as it breaks down into about 10 pips of profit, you can get the risk out, and then you can see if it can move down. So is it holding there? Just from this 4-hour range, I would be a lot happier being a seller higher up. 79% fib there to 134. That would be a great optimal level. If we see some volatility later in the day, I'd much prefer to be a trader up at that area rather than this lower area. All right, but as I'm talking, it's going to break that little 5-minute level, which is the low of the last 50-minute candle. Looks like it's going to do that. So it doesn't look like it's going to get up there at the moment, but it could do when the news comes out later. There are some imbalances on this run down here, that on the 50-minute candles here, that maybe need to be filled. We'll see. All right, so some levels to watch. You can decide if you want to entertain getting short in this area. Pound yen, it's testing. Go to your weekly. As I've been saying on the yen pairs, we've got lower top, higher bottom. It's coming up to test this area here. That high at 193.47 and this area of weekly resistance there. So, you know, this closes above that area this week. That's turning back to bullish. And then for sure next week, you're looking for a setup to get long, whatever your setup is. But at the moment, we could actually hold there and trade back down. So right now, I wouldn't be buying at the top there of that range. And if we've got a nice rejection candle, I think watching to see if we get a nice rejection candle here today. If we did, well, that could be telling us that we're just simply going to move back straight back down the range, and we want to stay range bound. All right, so structure here is still up on the 4-hour. We just rejected up here. If you saw on the 50-minute chart, let's just deal with the 50-minute chart first. If this came back up to 193.52 once more and showed you a 50-minute rejection, that could be a good area to get short because it's failed there once already today. From a 4-hour chart perspective, I'd want to see structure change, rally back up, down, and look in this area on the rally to get short if we start to see a reversal. I think we're probably going to move through. I think these yen pairs probably are moving through. They've been very strong moving back up, holding that structure. Unless we get some news today that's going to change traders' viewpoint, I think we may be breaking above and seeing a lot more bullish price action. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm not going to buy, I can't buy into resistance and the top up here. So I don't have an option to buy at the moment. If I start to see structure showing me a reversal, I can entertain a short. All right. Aussie yen, same deal. Weekly lower top, higher bottom. It's going all the way back up. It's getting back above these monthly highs to the left here. So it is showing some strength. And it's showing strength on that. Let me get rid of that fib for the moment. You know, we're very much on the yen pairs at the high of the month. So just talking the story just on this yen pair. Previous month rejected down at 79% level. All the other yen pairs did the same thing. And this month we've come down and rejected. So we've got like almost tweezers here on the monthly chart, telling you down here support are probably monthly structures up, higher top, higher bottom here, maybe forming to move back up the range. So I think these yen pairs are really, we still have to break above the weekly area of resistance at the moment, the lower top, but I think probably next month we're heading up for another month up. And look at the monthly charts of all the other yen pairs. They're going to look exactly the same as that, right? So I don't have to go through every one and say the same thing. Weekly, this is just where it's mixed. But if we take out this high, trade above this high next month, so next Tuesday, if we can get above here, above the high of then the previous month, I think we're looking for a movement back up this range. But at the moment on the daily, we haven't taken out this high yet. We could stall ahead of there. If we've got a really good rejection on the day chart, I could entertain this moving back down. Structure on the Forex still up. You know, even if you want to buy at such high levels, you can see where you should have been buying here. This dip back down here to 79%. So even if you want to buy at such high levels before seeing some kind of healthy pullback, there's the dip. Now we're at the profit taking point. You need to watch for the next dip, buy, so on and so on. But we are high up within the move, so I don't buy it. I don't like to buy so high up within the move of that range. It's not really showing any kind of sitting down at the moment. Could come up to here and reject today. You know, if we saw a structure break, we don't have it yet, but it would need to come down, rally, start to show, you know, a lower top, break a structure, lower top. We don't have it. So to get short, I need to see that start to happen. Not seeing it. I'm not going to buy so high up. So as I say, on the pairs, I'm just sitting, waiting for something that I like. They're very high up within that range of the month. And if we don't take out this high, this will be the high of the month. It'll be the same thing on all the other yen pairs if you don't take out the highs. At the start of the month, so early next week, we may just tickle the high of last month and then fail and then trade all the way back down, stay range bound. All right, so if we do see a reversal at the highs of whatever the high of the month is, early into next week, so the new month starts on Tuesday, we could see a reversal back down. So, you know, just keep planning ahead. All right, Aussie dollar, just holding a bid just intraday at the moment, but I got short yesterday up at 68.95. I did kind of say on Tuesday where I was looking because I went to the weekly chart and I said in this area last year, even when we got above 68, we hated it up here because we traded all the way back down to here. So I was telling you this was resistance and I got short up here early yesterday. Now I'm at break even. I don't know if this is going to blow straight through and up long term, or we're going to hold here at the top of that range and we could move back down to there by the end of the year or by the end of the month, the next month or the month after. All right. We did have a very kind of, if you can believe it, good CPI number yesterday, 2.7. Whether that's a real 2.7, it's hard to believe that inflation is only at 2.7 when my bills come in the door. It doesn't seem to be 2.7, but if the market's believing we're at 2.7, and that may start to be forecasting the idea of an interest rate cut, we could you know, this could be exceptionally high priced. All right. So lovely out. I was going to say outside. It was definitely a reversal candle, not quite outside. We're bouncing off this top here. We're back to the weekly chart. So we false broke this area, moved back below this top, and we're back up to that top. So we're actually stuck at the moment between this top today and that top intraday. All right, there's that top. There's that top. So if you're not short and you want to get short, 68.71, we might not get above there today, or we may not be able to stay above it for too long. So that big sell-off, so the rejection, that's the rejection of yesterday. Are we just coming back up within the rejection to then trade down today? 62 levels at 68.73, 68.71 is that top. All right. That's the prime area where we've been getting a fraction short at the moment. Can't quite get there. 68.71 to 73. We get lots of volatility later from the Fed. You know, looking at the oops. Sorry, back to the 15. We could get up to the 79% level, which is at 68.88 to 68.99, which is the other major weekly resistance area to the figure. So we could revisit that area if we really wanted to on some volatility. Still, you know, this 50-minute chart still chucking in some higher bottoms, even though we're getting rejections in this area, still higher tops, higher bottoms. So it hasn't turned down yet. So you can just hang fire. If we are going to move down today at some point, you can wait for that 50-minute structure to change. All right, still wanting to go up. I'm guessing that pound is still going up. If that's going up, let's just go back to the pound. Yep, just didn't actually break that little area I was talking about on that candle low. So that's, I'm guessing this is coming up to here. So the euro must be moving up. Not so much. Euro's just at the 79% level on that drop early in the day. So pound may be coming up back up to the 134 level for today's opportunity to maybe sell back up there if it can fail once more up there. All right, so the Aussie, there's the levels I'll be watching. I'm hoping it doesn't get past here because I'm at break even up here. So I don't really want it to get back up there, but we'll wait and see what happens. Okay. New Zealand yen. Same as the other yen pairs. If we look at the monthly chart, just to confirm exactly what I said on the Aussie yen monthly chart, you're going to see two monthly rejection candles there. One's obviously fixed from last month. This one hasn't finished yet, but I don't think we can get back down to the bottom of the candle by the end of the month. So are we bottoming down here to move back up the range? Weekly at the moment, still mixed. Lower top, higher bottom. Daily, we are above the 79% level of that range. But you can see that we have two tops here. 1, 2. We could simply hold here. Reject. We rejected yesterday. You can see yesterday's candle got a rejection. So as we get down the 15-minute chart, you could look at the highs of these 2 days and see if you can get a tight reversal at the tops of these 2 days, because we did reject yesterday. So, you know, are we going to top out on these yen pairs? For our still not really broken the structure because that's the major higher bottom. That's just a new higher bottom. So that's the day before's high. That's yesterday's high. So you could watch this area on your 15-minute chart. There it is. All right, day before's high, yesterday's high. Up here, it's already dropped once. Depending on your viewpoint, there's a 79%, minus 79% level. So you got to watch this area to see if you can get a tight. You can get a tight trend line break in this area. Turn down. All right, so we are very high up. It's been failing up in that area 2 days. Is it going to now once more fail to trade back down? Might only want to trade back down within the range of yesterday, but it's very high. It's not where you want to buy. We're very high up, so your options are to do nothing at the moment, or you could monitor for a reversal. But yeah, all the yen pairs are strong at the moment. So if we trade above yesterday's high before seeing a reversal, we probably won't reverse. New Zealand dollar. Now, this isn't having as much of a rally today as, for example, the Aussie. You can see the difference. It's just trading into that first area. So this is a lot weaker. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart. So it's very similar to the Aussie in general terms. There's this area up here, which we've got a fraction short of all that resistance in the 79% area of this major range. All right, got a fraction short. So it's rejected this weekly high, or it's rejecting it at the moment. 62.98, so pretty much the 63 level. It's getting support here. May well be today trapped between here and here. Big reversal yesterday. And there's a little minor lower top there. So this, I just want to look at that range. Just want to see where the top is on the 15-minute chart. It's only minor. It's only minor on when I look at the whole range of yesterday. I would much prefer my fib drawn across that range. That's the whole rejection yesterday. First major level to watch would be the central pivot point, because if we can't advance above the central pivot point today, then that would tell us that we're very weak. And then, if we start to see a 50-minute structure change in this area, we're probably going back down to test yesterday's low. So I would watch the central pivot point today. Do we hold there? Do you see it? Could come up to 62.98 because that's the last month's high, or 6,300. But does it come up into this area? Do you see a trend line break to the downside? Just want to look back to the Aussie, straight into that area at the moment. All right, so we cover New Zealand. Now, dollar CAD hasn't done what I was discussing. I thought it may have been bottoming out. It could still be bottoming out down here. This is on weekly support, but it did drop down very heavily on Tuesday to put in a fresh low. I'm still monitoring this monthly range. Low up to high, because in terms of pure trend, that's higher bottom and that is a higher top. I know it's very range bound. We could obviously be moving straight back down to the bottom of the range, but at the moment we're trading down on the weekly chart to weekly support here. It's in the 62 to 79% zone of that range. And I'm just monitoring at the moment. But, if we close back above the 62 once more on just on a day chart, we actually did that yesterday. So you can see the reversal candle there yesterday. The quick question is, after a reversal candle there, a weekly support in the 62.79% zone, are we bottoming? So really the big question today is on all the pairs which has the US dollar in it, is yesterday's reversal going to continue today? Are we going to retrace back inside the candle of the reversal to, in this case, a lower level before moving then higher again in the day? So on the 4-hour chart, you could monitor the range like I've been showing on the pairs to the US dollar, but inversely, last month's low, we false broke. The 62.79% area overlaps last month's low. So that would be a great area. So 134.44 down and 134.33. This area here, do we come down into there today to further move back up the range? Now, I did notice earlier in the day that we're just holding at the central pivot point. So we might not be able to get down there, but you need to pick which level you want to trade at. You can see at the moment, central pivot point, it's just all lows forming along the central pivot point. So we could be actually bottoming at the central pivot point today to go up, and we don't, have a nice decline into that fib zone. So you could monitor structure here. You could be getting quite a tight entry now. Could be getting long here, and you wouldn't need to risk more than 20 pips. That's 34.66. Like you could risk 10 pips. Just be underneath there. 10 pips for the idea that we might be getting a long-term move back up. It's just a 10 pip risk. Or you can wait to see if we come down into the lower area of yesterday's trading range. All right, dollar franc, very range bound. This is the area that I was discussing. Now, I can't remember daily. So it hasn't quite got down because that was yesterday. I was saying this area here with all the lows, where the 79% level starts, was support. Well, it is support because we didn't quite get there and reversed up nicely yesterday. It looks like we've already had a 62% retracement in the range of yesterday. So if we look at the range of yesterday, we had the interest rate decision earlier, which was 25 basis point cut. So that was the big horrible candle there. So that's the range at the moment. If it came back down to the 62 level, that would be a great area to maybe look for a long. Whether that we can get down there. What we might see now is that price action only is able to hold at the central pivot point. You can see after the spike up, we just came down to the central pivot point here before moving up. So that's where the most immediate buyers are, just there. So if you're looking to get long, that's where the buyers have been since the spike down. All right. Dollar yen. Structure is slightly different on the dollar yen. It has moved to a lower bottom. There's a minor lower top here to a lower bottom. So structure on the weekly is definitely down on this yen pair. Whereas on the other yen pairs, it's lower top, higher bottom. Yes, this bottom over here is a monthly bottom. Go to the monthly charts. It's here. We just spiked down through it. So we could actually be dealing with a false break. So we'll have to wait and see at the moment. At the moment, we're just coming up towards the 79% area of the weekly range. Structure on the daily chart, if I draw in the swings, after rejecting down here, we've come up to there, come up to there. It's just keeping that uptrend formed. It's not the greatest pair to trade at the moment because even if you want to get long, you're fighting against the weekly trend here, which is down. And getting long here, if we're going to hold the weekly trend, it's going to fail at the 79% level to resistance. So there's not a lot of room left to get long. And you're getting, potentially you could be getting long into the failure zone. So personally, I'm just sitting on the fence because most immediate from the daily down, we're trending up, but we're getting into where the market could top out. So do you really want to be buying so close to that area? We either want to see a clear move out of that area. So we know we've got a definite trend up, breaking the weekly high first of all, or we're waiting to see if we once more get a reversal up here and hold the weekly trend. All right, so these yen pairs are a little bit more difficult. I mean, if we are continuing up, there's the 4-hour range. You want to look for a dip. 79% levels down at 143.44. Look for a dip. This is daily support. Look for a dip down to support. Fib area and support. What happens if we get back down there? Can you see it change back to up intraday? Then you're buying a dip and you're not having to worry about buying so high up within the range as we get up to the weekly 79% level. All right. There's always a good time to be a buyer or a seller. And, you know, most immediate trends are up, but you want to buy a dip if a dip can come around. All right, last one, gold. It's very simple. It just keeps trending up. All right, but you want to buy a dip. And I think you want to see a healthy move, healthy dip. Wherever the high is at the moment, keep dragging this up if we do a fresh high. Then look to the 62.79% zone, wherever that sits, and allow price to pull back and be a lot cheaper within the trend. And then look for whatever your setup is to get long. Okay, that's what I'd look for. All right. I mean, that's moved up now 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 days. Do you want to buy on the 6th day, the 7th day, or the 8th day? Allow it to pull back. Now, it might not pull back, but you don't want to buy and then get caught at the top. All right, so don't have the fear of missing out. Allow it to pull back. Use general technical analysis with the fib tool. Identify the fib 62.79% zone, and then, you know, does it do its logical pullback to a cheaper area within the trend? Okay. All right, so the big question is yesterday's one-day reversal. Are we going to have a follow through, a continued day today in line with that reversal? So let's just go back to pound. Still rolling back up at the moment. Euro, it's maybe starting to want to hold this small 79% level on that 15-minute decline earlier in the day. Doesn't look like it wants to get above the central pivot point. Aussie's rejecting that area. So the 68.71 level, the weekly high. This one just there. Sorry, this one over here. Are we going to hold there today? Or are we going up to the high level? All right, so what's your setup? I'd actually like to see this still holding a 50-minute uptrend. I'd like to see the Aussie there, you know, break a low, come back up, and put in a lower top. Then you can see, then you know the 15-minute structure has changed like it did here. Came down, that was a lower low, and then it came up, and then it went down. All right, so the structure changed when we broke that low. So We break a low, let it rally back up. All right. I'll leave it there. Thanks, everybody. Have a great trading day and the rest of the week. And if you want to join me next week, there you go to the webinar page. There's the webinar link. Next week, back on the 1st, more analysis, more Forex analysis. Second, I'll be talking about support and resistance. So lesson on support and resistance on Wednesday. And then Thursday, more live analysis. All right, getting into October, heading closer to Christmas. All right, so that's what I'm doing next week. If you want to join me, just head over to the webinar page. Links here at the top. Register your interest and look forward to seeing you then. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for your company and enjoy the rest of the week. Thanks.